All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Thanks so much for being here. I'm really excited to share with you all a little bit more about my story and what I'm doing. So, before I teach anything tonight, I really want to talk to you more. I know some of you all saw my post on Facebook, and that's where, and maybe some others of you got my email. But the last couple of years, I've really been struggling with snoring. And the thing is, it's not been lately. Like, it's really embarrassing, I think. There's even been trips, like girl trips, that I haven't gone on because I've been embarrassed about it. And so it's really, really bothered me. And my husband even has, had to like gone and slept in the other room. And this has happened like 4 to 5 nights a week. And it's been really frustrating to me. And so I tried everything, like seriously everything to end this. I even bought I spent $100 on a water bottle that was supposed to like strengthen all your mouth muscles and stuff to stop it. And so part of me just kind of accepted it. And I was like, well, I guess this is just how it's going to be for a while. And so that was one thing I was struggling with. Another thing is, ever since I was a kid, I really have struggled with being shaky. When my blood sugar would crash, I could not go like too long in between meals. And I had just like a panicky feeling when, I feel like I needed food right away. I even remember this was like a few months ago. I was making dinner and I had skipped a meal that day. And I all of a sudden got like really flushed and I could feel my blood sugar tanking. And it's just one of those things that like I'd get really uncomfortable in the summertime. Like when in my 20s, in the summertime, I was playing volleyball one summer on a team. And on that team, I just started getting really shaky and like needed food right away. And I still think that we didn't win our volleyball tournament because like that one match, I just like couldn't handle it. And I was so hungry and just felt my blood sugar taking. So I've had this all over blood sugar thing really my whole life. And so as a nutritional therapist, I worked in nutrition long enough to understand why a lot of these things happen. And, they don't happen to everybody. Sometimes they happen to people, like people have different experiences. But knowing this and experiencing this, I know that in the past 30 days in me, something really shifted. One, the snoring stopped. I mean, with the exception of last night where I got really congested. But other than that, I've been going to bed. I've been sleeping all night, like a rock, haven't woken up at all, and woken up in the morning and felt so good. I've been sleeping. So like, even with that, I've been sleeping deeper because I've been waking up like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I wake up clear instead of foggy. Those blood sugar crashes, I have not had them at all in 30 days, which is not like me. My body also really feels calm instead of reactive. And that's another thing. I've been able to tell over the years that I've had this kind of unrest a lot, and I can relate it to my blood sugar a lot of times. And so even my thoughts feel clearer. And yes, I even did lose an inch off my waist. So honestly, the inch off my waist, I think, is really the least interesting part. I feel like a whole like better person all the way around. And so what really got my attention here was really how grounded I feel. And it feels like my body is really finally responding instead of fighting me. And what I find with working with clients over the past, 10 years, 13, I've been working with clients for 13 years, is that when we can get our body to stop fighting us, then we really start to see change and we really start to see results. And so that's what I really want to talk about tonight with you all, is how we can really get our body to stop fighting us. Because most women I talk to, especially women that are like midlife and older, are like, do a lot of the right things, right? And if not all the right things, they do many of the right things and they're frustrated with it. And so they're trying to eat better. They're trying to move more. They're a lot of times trying to drink more water. They're trying to be more disciplined. But under all of that, their nervous system is often very stressed. And so their blood sugar is often unstable. Their hormones are often confused. And if they have any kind of insulin resistance, which many women do, their body cannot handle sugar well. So if you cannot force a stressed body to burn fat, for one thing. I don't believe that you really can restrict it. You know, a lot of times we find out that all these restrictive diets, people are talking about that. We talk about punishing ourselves. We really can't, like, we just, I don't think any of that works well because it puts the body under so much stress. And what we need for our bodies to really feel safe. And so I've spent years studying mineral balance. I've spent years studying metabolism, hormone communication as a nutritional therapy practitioner. And that is something that I've loved to do. Young living has always been a big part of my life, but for the past 13 years, I've been a nutritional therapist. And I've seen this over and over again, that when the body feels really safe, it'll respond. When our signaling improves, everything will improve, whether it's our energy, it's our sleep, it's our cravings, it's our mood, it's our weight. And so tonight, I really want to walk you through what actually blocks fat burning. And you might be surprised to find out that a lot of the same things that block fat burning are actually causing a lot of other symptoms. And a lot of other symptoms that you probably don't like having. A lot of other things going on with your body that you're like, I could totally do without this. Sorry, I had to let someone else in. So really, the conversation here is not about dieting harder. It's about making this shift from survival mode into burn mode. And burn mode is also energy mode, like getting better energy, having your body bring its energy systems back online. And so once you see it, like, you can't unsee it, I feel like. So we're going to dive in. I did create some slides, but I don't know. Sometimes slides in Zoom these days have problems. So I'm wondering if I'll even be able to bring them up. I'm going to try real quick and see how it goes. Let's see. Can y'all see that? The problem is I have to make it big and then I can't see everything else, I think. Maybe we'll do without the slides this time. We'll do without them. Okay. All right. So let's dive in. So if your body isn't burning, it's not because it's broken. If it isn't burning, and when I talk burning, what I'm talking about is energy. So this can be fat or sugar. And this can have to do with either having extra weight that you don't like around the middle, or it can even have to do with your energy levels. So Your body is designed to protect you. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't really connect a lot of times is that we're taught that we're always fighting against our body, when actually our body's very intelligently designed and it's designed to protect us. So the first place that we see this protection is in our hormones, and it's in our hormone signaling. Now I am going to share a document in the chat for you. And a lot of it talks about it'll go over a few of the things in briefly what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to drop that in the chat for you whenever it shows up. I feel like either my computer or Zoom is like slow or something. Okay. There we go. Okay. So if you want to open that document, you're welcome to, or if you want to save it for later, you're welcome to. So really, when we talk about hormone communication, what we're talking about is your hormones are signals. So I want you to imagine for a minute that your hormones are like text messages, or I like to explain to my clients, and when I teach others about their hormones, I like to explain to them that you are really a lot like a computer in a lot of ways. You really are. So your body relies on these hormones for signaling. It relies on hormones for text messaging, basically. So your hormones are sending these signals to your body. Burn fat, burn sugar, store fat, store sugar, rest, wake up, eat, stop eating, calm down, stay alert. There's literally hormones for all of these things, right? So when these messages are really clear, your body is like, oh, well, tuned machine, like it's working very well. And then when the signals get distorted, then we have and the reason they get distorted is because of stress. And when I say stress, I can be talking about an array of things, right? Stress is going to be anything that causes a lot of tension within your body. So it can be emotional stress. It can be stress that you're under, fake lighting too much and you're not in the real sunshine. That can be a stress. You can have stresses that are your blood sugar swinging, and it's not even. Under eating can be a stress. Poor sleep can be a stress. Those are when some of those things happen or any of those stresses happen, the messages in your body get scrambled. And so some of these signals are included, for your body using energy as sugar and fat are signals to your body. Your body can become resistant to a hormone like insulin, for example. And if your body can't handle sugar properly, you become insulin resistant a lot of times. This causes weight gain. If your cortisol is too high for too long, that signal gets scrambled, right? And that's your stress signal. So I brought up snoring earlier. And the thing is that while insulin isn't a bad thing, it's a much needed hormone. It's an anabolic hormone, meaning it helps to build and preserve tissue, especially in the muscle. So in a healthy body, your insulin will move your glucose into your muscle cells. It'll help shuttle amino acids into your muscles. It will signal muscle repair and muscle growth, and it will reduce muscle breakdown. So we see that a lot of times in aging, when we see this a lot in women, as you age, you can often become more insulin resistant if you're not careful. And so muscle actually begins to break down because the body is trying to use it as energy. So muscle and insulin are deeply connected. And actually, going back to the snoring and muscle breakdown can also be deeply connected, because there's that restoration that can often needs to happen in those neck and face muscles. And there can be other roots to snoring as well, but typically if you start to snore when you're older, it can have to do with insulin resistance at the root of it. So I want you to kind of imagine this. If your body senses any kind of instability, it will not choose to burn. So it will not choose to burn fat, and it will often choose to store. So even sugar, fat or sugar. So fat storage becomes really the safety strategy because your body thinks it's in trouble. And this is why women gain weight even when they're not eating like a lot. And so under eating is an extreme stressor. And I find that there's a pretty large group of women that don't eat enough. And so their body is thinking that it's always in this like fight or flight, oh no, I have to find food kind of phase. And so a lot of times that's why women will put on weight when they're not eating a whole lot. So when our calories drop too low for too long, our body thinks we're not safe, our resources are scarce, our metabolism slows, and our thyroid signaling often shifts. And so the thyroid will shift even to put the body into this low burning state so that it also won't burn fat or even has trouble burning sugar. And so it's having trouble getting that energy to the body because it's kind of like in this reserve state. Okay, so that's when this fat storage increases. It's not your body rebelling. It's not your body hating you. It's literally your body trying to protect you. And I feel like this, our kind of everyday modern life, we're kind of taught to disrespect this aspect of the body, that it's this protection mechanism, right? So I have personally done the under eating thing, and I've skipped meals when stressed, and I've powered through hunger, and my body has never responded to that well. And I don't know if anybody else has dealt with that much, but typically, under eating will also just cause those kind of problems, and that's exactly why. So jumping into blood sugar and learning just a little bit more about blood sugar, I would like to zoom in on that and help you just understand these building blocks. Blood sugar is one of the loudest signals in your body. And when your blood sugar spikes, your insulin will rise. And insulin is that storage hormone, okay? So it's that signal that's telling your body to store. And the job of insulin is to move sugar out of the bloodstream and store it. So if your insulin is elevated often, your body goes into the storage mode. Under eating can cause that once again, or eating a lot of processed carbs can cause that as well. So then your blood sugar can crash, right? So and stress can cause blood sugar to crash too. And so when it crashes, that cortisol rises. Cortisol is your stress hormone. Cortisol's job is to save you. We cannot live without cortisol. So it's also one of those things that's not bad, but its job really is to save you and keep you going. So now when we have these blood sugar ups and downs, we have a spike. The body stores that energy, and then we have a crash. And when we have a crash, the body gets stressed. And then once again, we go on this roller coaster: spike, store, crash, stress. So if you're like anything like me and you've ever dealt with being hangry or shaky or just even panicky feeling, a lot of people that deal with anxiety also have a lot of blood sugar issues. And some of these things can be due to past trauma. They can be due to chronic stress. They can be due to just our thoughts and how we think about ourselves a lot of times can cause this. So when those things happen and you're on that roller coaster, you often find yourself craving carbs because your blood sugar is unstable. It's looking for more energy. And so when that happens, your body once again gets on this roller coaster and just doesn't feel safe anymore. And so that's when I'm going to tell you a little bit more in a minute about what I did to help get off this cycle. But when your blood sugar gets stable, your body starts to feel safe. When your blood sugar is unstable, your body will not be feeling safe. So what we need is for those crashes and those spikes to stop so that the body gets to a place where it really does feel safe. And also, that is also can be a place where the snoring stops too. So if you're someone that's, also dealt with snoring, then getting your body into a safe space, then it can really give it a lot of support as well. And it's just interesting to me how all these things really can be deeply connected, and they are not, just single symptoms here and there. I just wanted to make sure nobody else was trying to get in to chat with us. Okay. So then the third thing, I don't know if you opened that document I sent you, but the third thing is that our liver gets overloaded. So our liver is an organ I think that we don't talk about enough. And I think it's something that people literally don't think about a lot of times. Your liver processes your hormones. It's a very important processor of your hormones. It also processes any kind of toxins that come into your body. And we have lots of toxins in our environment these days. And the thing is that our body was designed to process toxins. But the liver does that as well. The liver also has a huge hand in that blood sugar, keeping the blood sugar stable. Of course, so does the pancreas. But the liver is part of that process. And then also with inflammation. So when your liver gets overloaded from those things that we've already talked about, chronic stress, processed foods can do it, environmental load and toxins can do it, imbalanced hormones, then it will become less and less efficient at clearing your signalers like estrogen, okay? And also helping your body manage that other signaler of insulin. So when estrogen clearance gets slow, your fat storage clearance also increases. And so when insulin processing really struggles, blood sugar will become more unstable, and it literally becomes like a traffic jam. So your signals are like there, but they can't move efficiently. And then your body's going to say, we're overwhelmed. Can we slow this down? Can we hold our resources? So that's a little bit about what happens with your liver. So that's also a very important piece to really understanding metabolism, is understanding how your liver works and the fact that it can get congested and can slow the body down. Now, chronic stress, right, is number 4. And I would say chronic stress is probably the biggest thing that we really need to think about in our world today, because chronic stress doesn't really have to look dramatic. It literally can look like skipping meals. It can look like scrolling on your phone. It can look like staying up too late at night, not having a really good bedtime, not having a good bedtime routine. It can look like saying yes, even when you're tired and exhausted. It can look like over-exercising. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard. It can also look like constant mental pressure, or it can look like trauma you've never dealt with in your life. Our nervous system really doesn't know the difference between a tiger chasing us or a 2 a.m. cortisol spike because our blood sugar is unstable. And so stress, again, will elevate your cortisol. And cortisol tells your body that it's not safe, that it needs to prepare for survival. And our survival mode, always 100% survival mode, is always not to burn. It's to store things. Okay? Survival mode is storage. So when I stopped snoring, what that told me was that my nervous system was shifting and that my body wasn't like totally fight or flight anymore. So going back to the fact that our body is always protecting us, this is what I really want you to hear, is that your body's not broken. And I don't think we hear that enough, is that our body's not broken, that it's not stubborn, and that it's not betraying you, and that it actually is protecting you. So if you have slower metabolism, if you are storing weight, if you're tired, if you're inflamed, then your body's really actually trying to create safety. So fat storage is not failure. It's actually a strategy your body has. So when you shift these signals, when you finally get these signals to shift, your blood sugar starts stabilizing, your stress decreases, your hormones communicate, and your liver's not overwhelmed, then your body doesn't really need all that protection anymore. And so that's when we see it start to burn. And I want to show you or talk to you a little bit about what I've been using, because it's not about dieting harder. It's about restoring communication. So we have talked about hormone signaling, blood sugar. We've talked about overloaded liver. We've talked about chronic stress. And so I think let's talk about what like every woman has tried, and y'all can in the chat let me know if you've tried some of these things. So we've heard the whole eat less, move more, right? Have you tried that? How has it worked for you? Just curious. And I know a lot of us have heard what dieting culture has taught us. So at first it might work a little bit, and you might see a little tiny change on the scale when you're following some of those things, maybe. But here's the thing, with most of the clients that I've worked with over the years, their body kind of resists this. It hates it because it's like, I've tried that before. It's either hungry or it's tired or it's anxious or it becomes more inflamed and they don't see results. And so this happens because of the stress put on the body. So, and I think that's when a lot of times too, when people are, doing some of those like restriction things and they do lose weight and it comes right back on, is because the body, if your calories stay too low for too long, your body continues to be like, I'm in scarcity. And so when someone says, I look at a piece of cake and I gain weight, it's more because of that principle, is that your body's like, I've been in scarcity, and so I must hold on to all the things. And so this is a real thing that people don't realize. It actually lowers the metabolic process. What we want to do is we want to speed it up, right? We want to speed up the cells. We want the cells to work efficiently. We want them to burn sugar. We want them to burn fat. So we don't want to signal like store fat. We don't want to suppress our thyroid communication, because your thyroid communication is, communicating all those signals with your body. You don't want to increase cortisol. Cortisol is, like I said, it keeps you alive, but it should be a short-term thing. Like, you don't want to run on cortisol. You don't want to live on cortisol. But I want to kind of reiterate that your body's not dumb. And I think a lot of times we treat our body like it's dumb, right? We treat our body like it's not so smart and that it's mean to us. Can anybody identify with that? And that, like, the thing is survival mode um, is the storage component of the body. Is the body being very intelligent and storing because it doesn't quite, understand that we don't need to store, I don't want to store it for winter, right? But we are also sending it all these signals of like, oh my gosh, like we have to start conceptualizing the signals that we send our computer. So when you're eating, like if you're someone that does chronically undereat, and here's another tip though, some people don't realize they're undereating. If you want to find out if you are undereating, you'll want to get a MyFitnessPal app. Get the app and log your food. Just start logging your food, look at the amount of calories. And then there is a website. It's called TD Calculator. T, like the letter T, D, the letter D, E, calculator.com. And you can literally like plug in your weight, or you can plug in your height. I think it's your height and I don't know, some things about yourself, and it'll tell you your basic calorie need. And so once you log your calories for a few days and just find out what you're eating, you can look at just if you're hardly eating anything. If you're eating 1,000 calories a day or less, you're hardly eating anything, and your body's literally storing everything it gets because it's worried about not having food. And a lot of women that I've coached over the years don't have any recollection that they're actually eating so little until they really truly start looking at the food like that. And I don't really like to advocate for like tracking all the time, but I do think it's very helpful to understand if you are someone that chronically undereats. And then that might cause a lot of your blood sugar swings. And that might cause the fact that your body's like, oh, I need to start holding on to everything because she's not feeding me. And so basically we're like whispering to our body to burn, but it's like, you're not giving me enough resources. And so I'm just going to hang on to what you've given me. So sometimes that's really our body saying, I'm not safe. I'm just holding on to things. And so I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I personally can relate to it a lot. And that's when I find women getting really frustrated because they think there's something wrong with them, and they think there's something wrong with their body, and no one's ever really told them these things. And they have no idea because we're always told to like cut down on calories to lose weight, right? So there's nothing wrong with you, literally just a communication breakdown with your body, and your body is literally trying to protect you. And so we ask ourselves the question, like, how do I force this fat loss? But instead of forcing it, we need to ask ourselves, how do I change the signals so my body feels safe enough to respond? How do I change those signals? So the biggest driver of missignaling and the things that keep those signals distorted is blood sugar chaos, stress, and your nervous system being overloaded. So then we realize that the problem is actually signaling. It's not willpower, which a lot of us are like told it's willpower. And when you're craving, and even some women, I'm like, they're craving carbs because they're not getting enough energy, right? So the body's like, where can I find energy? So it moves it to a craving, like a carb craving thing. And then we beat ourselves up because we feel like we're not disciplined enough, right? Like, do you all see how this cycle is just, it's not a really healthy cycle, and it's actually working against your biology. You want to work together with your biology and not against your biology. So I want to share a little bit about what I'm doing and what I've been doing to help my biology work at a root cause level. I'm a very root cause practitioner. I want to get to the root cause because I think way too many times, whether it be from, just culturally, our brains don't really conceptualize things at a root cause level a lot of times. And so I started taking Young Living has, I left my supplements over there, but one of them's gone because I ran out and it's supposed to come tomorrow. Young Living came out a couple months ago with the Balance and Burn system. Who has heard of the Balance and Burn system? I know a few of you all have tried it. And I want to share a little bit about it and why it's been working so well and why I was really excited about it when it came out. So the system is you get 2 little packages a day. It's not a magic fix. It's not a crash diet, but it's a tool to improve this communication that I've been talking about. So we want to improve the signaling, right? So that's why I get really excited about this. So in the morning, I take a stick pack. It's the one I ran out of. It's a stick pack. It's a powder. And in that stick pack is Akkermansia. Akkermansia is a prebiotic powder that you just dump in your mouth, put on your tongue. I literally take it very first thing in the morning. And Akkermansia is the scientifically proven prebiotic fiber that helps with your gut. And it's the one that's being studied and been studied over and over that helps increase fat burning in the body. So I really like the stick pack. I think it tastes really good. I feel like there's just been a few people that say they don't like the taste. And so I think the majority of people really like the taste. And just take it first thing in the morning. And then there are the Balance and Burn, the Burn capsules. And so then there are 3 just regular size capsules that I take between breakfast and lunch every day. And within these capsules are there's several components in the capsules. One of the things I like the most is berberine. So you may have taken a berberine before, but this particular berberine is coated. And it's coated so that it can get down into the digestive tract. And what I found from studying berberine, because what berberine does is it's helpful for balancing blood sugar. So it's part of the system that really helps I can tell when I take it, really tell that it helps to calm the body and it helps to balance that blood sugar. And a berberine in a capsule, if you're going to go and buy berberine at the store, typically you only will absorb 10 to 20% of it. So you're usually not absorbing it enough and it's not getting down into the digestive tract enough to really do its job. So this coated berberine does its job very well. And I just I can tell. Along with the other components that are in the Balance and Burn that are helping your body to really communicate with that blood sugar, decrease the stress, and really reach some of those foundational issues that we've talked about. So I have been really enjoying that's what I've been taking for the past 30 days. Before I was taking that, it was about 4 months ago, I started taking the Daily Hormone Essentials. Now, the Daily Hormone Essentials has ashwagandha, it has maca in it. And so for me, the Balance and Burn system and the DHE, the Daily Hormone Essentials, doesn't have to be taken together. I really also enjoyed taking the Daily Hormone Essentials alongside it for me, because it has really helped to also even out those cortisol levels. So that came out first. And so I started that about 4 months ago. And I really started to see some changes in my cycle when it came to the DHE, because my cycle had been kind of spotty. And you could take DHE either whether you're, younger, if you're midlife, if you're menopausal, you can take DHE anywhere along the way. What it really does, again, is help with those signals. So it's also helping with those hormones that are, sex hormone signaling, which kind of helps the whole process. So I like to stack those two, but you don't have to, they don't necessarily have to be stacked. But I do feel like with what I had going on with was major blood sugar instability, and then hormonal imbalance, mostly from high stress, that the two stacked have been really, really helpful for me. So going back to blood sugar and your blood sugar stability, I think one of the biggest things in the system that supports that blood sugar stability, again, is it helps with insulin signaling. When you're taking the balance and burn, it's going to support that insulin. So if you know that you have any kind of like insulin resistance, this system is so helpful. So your insulin stops constantly spiking, your cortisol doesn't keep rising, your cravings literally calm down, your energy smooths out. And I've seen this again and again. Also, like as far as the metabolism goes, it helps with your metabolic flexibility in the balance and burn system, which means that your body is able to switch between sugar and burning fat efficiently. And that's really the goal. The goal is to be able to switch those burns from sugar to fat burning efficiently. And a lot of women actually lose that flexibility as they get older. So we're using these components in the balance and burn to help with that. So you're either constantly burning sugar or constantly burning fat. But when your metabolic flexibility improves, you become more adaptable. And then jumping into the whole buzzword of the GLP-1, right? So let's talk about that real quick and how balance and burn can help with that signaling too. So GLP-1 is talked about a lot, right? We usually hear it as like the shot, but the shot is going to be synthetic, right? Your body has a natural means, and this is what I find is sometimes hard to explain to people because they just know the like GLP-1 buzzword. But GLP-1 is a natural hormone that your body makes itself. So it helps with satiety, it helps with appetite signaling. And so when you get your signals improved, you have the cravings reduced, you feel like satisfied sooner, and you don't think about food constantly. So people that have like the food noise of thinking about food constantly, the GLP-1 helps suppress that. But instead of using a synthetic form of GLP-1, you really want your body to make its own GLP-1, right? And this also helps your blood sugars kind of smooth out. So it's not about forcing the body to suppress the appetite necessarily, but it's supporting the communication systems within the body, which is way more important. And so when we go back to something like sleep, like when I said, I am sleeping so well, like so good. And that's something that really actually surprised me because I thought I was sleeping pretty dang good on the DHE when I was taking the daily hormone essentials. The daily hormone essentials also has not only ashwagandha, but it has some magnesium in it. I think it's a very calming formula. And I was like, oh, I'm sleeping so good on this. But when I started taking balance and burn, I realized that when my blood sugar got stable, your whole body calms. Like it can calm your nervous system. So people sometimes find when they have really high anxiety, it'll start to calm that too, because it's calming the system. Anxiety is typically, again, your body in that hyper aware state, a hyper fight or flight. And so if your nervous system can calm, your sleep can deepen, it can help, essentially stop snoring in a lot of instances, because all these pieces are kind of falling into place, right? And so for me personally, that's when a lot of this shifted, is I had no more hangry crashes, no more shaky urgency, calmer moods, 100% clear thinking, because you're getting more energy to the brain. So when you're getting more energy to the brain, you're improving your thinking. And then deeper sleep. And then, of course, eventually your body starts to feel safe enough that then it can burn the fat and burn the things in the right order, right? Like it can start with that. Usually the sugar signaling goes first. And then the body's like, okay, now I can burn the fat as energy. So that's what I love the most. So when your blood sugar stabilizes, your nervous system calms. When your nervous system calms, your hormones communicate better, right? Because I don't know if you're aware, but if your cortisol is spiked all the time, let's say that you are like your cortisol, you're very stressed, your sex hormones, like your progesterone and estrogen and some of these tools, these signals that are needed to create, make those sex hormones and talk to the rest of your body, they're made up of like minerals. And if your cortisol is always high, it starts stealing the minerals to make cortisol. And then if you're stealing the minerals to make cortisol from your sex hormones, and you can't make sex hormones, so then you feel crazy. And so when your hormones communicate better, then your body will also burn fat. It works. And so we want to stay really rooted in a place of safety. So we want to it's not about tricking our body into something. It's about supporting the body. So when the body feels safe, it realizes it doesn't have to hold on to things any longer. And so that's what I love. And so obviously I think like any other supplement out there, this isn't for everyone. This is for you if you have these things going on. Okay, I would say balance and burn is for you if you have these things going on. If you're tired, if you're just in a place where you're like, I need more energy. If you feel stuck, even though you're doing all the right things. If you feel like your brain won't shut off. If you ever wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. for no reason. If you carry weight around your middle and it's not responding. If you ever feel inflamed. If you feel wired but tired. If you know your body is trying to tell you something, but you don't know what. I would say balance and burn is for someone that experiences those things. I would say balance and burn is not for you if you're looking for a crash diet, if you want to restrict your calories, if you want to restrict them, if you want to punish your body into results, or if you're willing to stabilize your meals and support your nervous system, because it only works if we're signal shifting, right? We want our body to really cooperate and not control. So it's not like a good luck, just like, here you go, good luck. So basically, balance and burn will support your body signaling. It'll support those signals and help to your lifestyle reinforces them. So I'm not saying lifestyle is not important. As a practitioner, I help train my clients in like sunlight signaling. I mean, we're talking like, when we're talking signals to the body, we're talking the sunlight was designed to signal you. Your food was designed to signal you. Your sleep is designed to signal you. It being dark at night is designed to signal you. So it's becoming aware of these signals. And when we really come into harmony with understanding the signals that our body needs, and then how to make the signals work better, right? Those hormones, that's when we really feel the shift. And so the investment for balance and burn is $135 for 30-day supply, which is actually so good. I was when the product first came out, I was comparing prices with other similar products from other companies. And this one was actually less expensive than a lot of other companies and very comparable. And for what it does, I think it's priced at a very great price point. So $135 for 30 days. And if you are a brand new customer and you decide to purchase Balance and Burn, I'm also giving a 30-minute consultation for free to make sure we get dialed in on all the right things for you. So if you decide to purchase Balance and Burn before by the weekend, or by the weekend, then I will include this 30-minute consult. We'll go over everything. We'll talk about all the things you've been dealing with. We'll look at your signaling, and we'll dig in. And then I'm always available too. You can text me. You can Facebook message me on any kind of troubleshooting you need. And then I also have some Facebook groups you can plug in for a lot of extra information. But if you invited someone to this webinar, or if you were invited by someone else that's on my team, please go to them to purchase from them, and ask for their link. But if you've heard this from me, ask for my link and I can get that to you. And I think that's all I had. Well, actually, I did want to show you guys some of the cool testimonials, if I can get this to share. I pulled a few testimonials that I really liked, that people were having really great results. So if I can share my screen, actually, if it will actually share my screen this time, I will show you some. Share screen. Share. Okay. Is that the right screen? Okay. Let's see if it'll share. I'm going to make it big. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see this. I don't know if you can. It looks probably small for you. But this is Katie. Katie says, so the holidays kicked my butt. I'll read it to you in case you can't see it. I started eating healthier and working out January 12th. On January 22nd, I added in Young Living's Balance and Burn. It's to help your body produce GLP-1 naturally, to help lose inflammation and feel full, regulate blood sugar, clear hormone receptor sites. And in the first pic, she shows the first photo with her of her, sorry. And then the second photo, she's down 12 pounds in 30 days and 15 inches. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And yeah, she looks really good. And then this is Jennifer. Jennifer's a friend of mine, and she says in 58 days, she's had 0 regrets. Balance and Burn, she has 8 pounds gone, 18.25 inches gone off her waist, clothing fitting comfortably, more energy, especially in the afternoon, deeper sleep, fewer snack cravings, satisfied with smaller portions, less inflammation. That's really awesome too. And obviously results vary from person to person. This person, Monica, says 4 weeks since she started B&B, she's down 2 pounds, no food noise, no desire to snack at all, less bloating, feels so much better, sleeping better, more energy. And then she ordered daily hormones essentials to add to her routine. Very satisfied. So if this sounds something that sounds good to you and you're a new customer, you can use a code for 10% off. And then I'm also going to slide my link into the chat if you want to grab it. But again, if someone else invited you to this call and it wasn't me, please go to them for their link. And support your friend. And if you are a member already, or if you are a customer of Young Living already, again, you can just log in. I guess I'm still sharing my screen, aren't I? Okay. You can just log in and grab Balance and Burn. I would love to hear what your results are after 30 days. And I'm wondering, do you all have any questions? Like, did I skip anything I was supposed to say? Or I was planning to say? No, not really. I just want you all to remember that this is not about forcing your body. And when we really do like force our body to do things, we don't get the results by forcing. And when we really learn to work with our body and work at this root cause level, we find that the body does what it's very intelligent. So AJ asked about the liver detox powder. Yes. So there's actually, so Balance and Burn itself will support your liver. And I personally think that DHE also supports the liver, but there is a separate product called, well, it's called the Whole Body Cleanse, and then there's Liver Tone. And so there's a Daily Detox Duo, I think is what it's called in the bundle. And the Daily Detox Duo has like, it's very liver targeted. So if you're someone that feels like you have like extra liver congestion, that's a really great product to help clean out the liver. I even know people that like started on that and kind of prepped their body before they jumped into Balance and Burn to make sure their liver was just functioning well. So I really do like that product. I actually used it before I haven't been using it as much recently. Like the past couple months, I've been really just focusing on DHE and Balance and Burn. But prior to that, I was using, the daily, the Liver Tone and the Whole Body Cleanse for like 3 months and just doing some like liver cleansing. I think I will go back to it. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I still have some in my cabinet, and it's a fantastic product because it really does support the liver and support liver cleansing. So that's what I would recommend, that if you feel like you need that. Yeah, I mean, you mean that it was a long cleanse using it for 3 months? It was. I don't think you necessarily have to use it that long. Some people use it together with Balance and Burn. I think it was like, for me, I felt like I needed cleansing. And it's not like your typical, like, the product isn't designed to be like a quote unquote like hard cleanse. And so I think that's also something to keep in mind, that it's not supposed to be like a really intense cleanse or something, It's just something to help support your liver. So when I say 3 months cleanse, I wasn't like doing like it's not a harsh cleanse, is I guess like what I'd want to communicate the most. It's just going to help support the liver and help clean out the liver, but it's not like, oh, I'm running to the bathroom. Oh, that kind of stuff. And yes, you could take it along with B&B, like Balance and Burn if you wanted to. You could take it separate. It's different for everybody, but it's not harsh at all. Sherry asked when the best time to take the whole body cleanse is. So I like to do the whole body cleanse in the evening, probably after dinner, like after dinner before bed, I'd like to do it. The Liver Tone, like there's 2 parts, right? So like it's a cleanse, which is like a drink. Like you mix it into water. It's like a little scoop. You mix it into water, drink it down. And it just kind of helps like very gently cleanse the body. And you can take the Liver Tone with food, or you could take it at the same time. Either way, it's a product I like to take in the evening though. And Yeah, AD asked if balance and burn can be used by men too. Yes, it can. I know I've heard a lot of men that are having really awesome results with it. I've actually thought about, my husband hasn't tried it yet. Um, but he has some blood sugar dysregulation. And so I keep asking him, like, do you want to start it? So I just didn't want to buy it for him if I was like, here, start it. And like, I wanted him to be like, I want to start it. So he hasn't started it yet, but I have been reading a lot of really great men's testimonials. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can't take whole body cleanse in the morning, but since you need, like, if you're taking balance and burn, it needs to be taken in the morning because the capsules do have some um caffeine in them, right? So they have a little bit of a stimulant in them. And then the acromantia needs to be taken in the morning. And so since I'm taking balance and burn, yeah, I just prefer to take it at night. Plus, when you're sleeping and you're sleeping really deeply, your body is also cleansing. So your body should be able to cleanse itself, right? Um, so I even like to take, like, if you're ever taking, like, feel like you need a probiotic and you're taking a probiotic, I like to take probiotics at night too, because I feel like they're cleansing and I feel like they're, as you sleep, kind of working as you sleep or like helping balance your gut as you sleep. And so I do probiotics at night too. Do you guys have other questions? Oh yeah. Yeah. You can't, also same. You can't take the daily prebiotic fiber at night. So the daily prebiotic fiber is a product that really just adds prebiotic fiber to your diet. It has aloe in it. I like that product too. It also has, I'd have to look up the name of the ingredient. The very first ingredient. I know where it is on the label, but I don't know how to say it at the top of my head. The very first ingredient in the daily prebiotic fiber takes plastic particles out of your body. And so it's actually like a very mild cleansing agent too. It's a very mild detoxification agent, but I really like it because it pulls plastics, and we almost all of us have like microplastics in the body. And so I really like the daily prebiotic fiber, but I'm always thinking of it more as like, one, it helps the acromantia when you're taking balance and burn, because acromantia is fed by fiber. And then it also is pulling out microplastics, which I like because of whatever in there that does that. I'd have to look at the label. And then Cheryl said she's doing the reset, like the Ningxia reset with balance and burn. Yeah, you totally can. And that's the thing, like, that's what I really love about these products. You do not have to use all of these products at the same time together. You can stack them at different times for different needs. One thing about balance and burn is that, when we think about GLP-1s, like the synthetic kinds, like the shots, those are like, that's designed for you really to use for the rest. Like, it's a product, it's a pharmaceutical that's designed to use really for the rest of your life, really, because when people get off them, they start to gain weight. But even on them, a lot of times they're losing muscle weight. They're having digestive issues. And so the thing about balance and burn is, like, you can use it for seasons. You don't have to be on it forever for the rest of your life, right? Like some of these things can be used for seasons. And I really like that. Like, I really appreciate and like that they can just be used for seasons at a time when you feel like your body needs them. So you don't have to be on 52 products forever. You can do a 14-day reset, which is with Ningxia. You do it with balance and burn. You can do that quarterly or twice a year, or or something like that. So I love that. Like, balance and burn maybe is a season. Maybe you take it for 5 to 10 months, depending on what your body needs. And I love that too. Um, all right. Well, does anybody else have any other questions? I think I answered all the questions that are in here. And did I cover everything? Like, I know I asked some of you when you saw my poster, asked about the masterclass, what you wanted to hear. So I hope I covered everything. If there is anything you wanted to hear that I didn't cover, feel free to ask. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I can send you all the replay. And if you end up thinking of any other questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, thank you again, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a lovely night. Bye.